Hi, I got some new indoor arrows and I've been fletching them with XsWings, and I thought I'd take a minute to go over and show you how I apply these. So I'll put on the glasses here. So you determine where you're going to put your vanes on the shaft. Put them in your jig. And so I've determined where I want mine at here. You can see between this, I got the clamp marked here, and I got the clamp marked here, right there. So what I do is I start the pencil at this mark, I run it up just past that a little bit and bring it back down. When I get here, I'm putting a little mark on the shaft. So you can see that mark right there. And what that's doing is when I lay the tape, I'm putting the tape right at the edge of that mark like this. And that's setting the depth, and I'll just touch it down. So I want to have it right on the edge like this and to the left. Now if I was doing right wing, I would still make that little mark like that, but then I would bring it over here and I'd transfer that mark to the other side for right wing. Because I put the wing, right wing goes on the right side of the pencil mark, left wing goes on the left side. So like this, that's the left side of it. If this was a right wing, I'd put it on the right side of the line like that. Right like that. So then I take this double-sided tape here. Sometimes you'll peel and you'll get like this where you can see it's paper, so just go to the other side. That does happen occasionally. So this tail is that I've drawn on here is marking where the end of the tape should start. And I put it to the left-hand side of the main line. I pull a little tension on this, not a lot, but just enough, so that it doesn't bubble up, and I just gently rub it down along there until it's on there. So my tape is to the left of the pencil mark that I made for left-hand wings. If you're doing right hand, you want to put the tape to the right-hand side of your pencil mark. So just start one edge of it, run the finger towards the end of the tape, give it a little tension, just walk it down so it's right on the edge of that pencil mark. And gently rub that down. Once those are on there, you could see, at least I hope you can see, there's air bubbles underneath that tape. So I take something like a magic marker, and I rub it towards the end so that seats that end, and then I rub it back and forth and rub it off the end of this. But I rub it to set that tape. And that ensures that there's no air pockets, and that is as good as it's going to get. Then I take the vane and I stick it in a jig. I push down the jig so it clamps it tight. Peel off the tape. And this tape, when you're doing this, it's very clingy and wants to go everywhere. So if you take your tape piece and flip it over, it'll stick to that. And then you can take it off your hand. So I hold this in my right hand, and with my left hand I use this jig, and I go back to that little mark at the bottom there, and I just lay the fletching on there. Make sure it contacts all the way up, pop it off, and then rub this in. Again, you'll see that you're getting all the air out of that vane. Now, I like to go to the next vane to this side because I'm doing left wing. If I'm doing right wing, I'm doing everything the opposite way. I just don't want this to get in the way of me doing the next vane, because I like to support the arrow on my arm, and underneath I'm putting my fingers on the shaft to kind of help me align this. Sometimes you have to push it over a little bit because it went a little too fast and screwed it up, but now it's fixed because I kind of pushed it over onto the tape. If I was using shorter vanes like this one, it's the same idea. You put it in there, and I actually cut the tape to length, so I'll put it maybe a 1/4 inch longer. Mark it on here. I'll mark how long the tape needs to be, and I'll go maybe a 1/4 inch longer, and I'll cut this off right here. So I'm only putting on a little more tape than is needed. Once the tape, I put it on, I always locate off the back of it. Once I get the tape on there, peel this off, stick it on there. I take a razor and I gently put it at the edge of the front of the vane, and I rock it back and forth once and twice, go back and forth, and then I can peel that stickiness right off of there. And then it's not, because if you wait and you tape this up and you try to pull on that, you're going to stretch this tape and pull it out from underneath there. So I just put a little cut on it. Sometimes you can just put your fingernail on it and rub back and forth and pop it off that way too, but I like to make a definitive cut with a razor blade. So let's finish up this last one here. Now, I have put these on before without a fletching clamp like the Bitzenburger. I've done them by hand, but the clamp just makes it so nice because it holds that flat for you. Now for this tape, the owner of XsWings recommends you use a full piece of tape. However, I don't do that. I typically will bend this in half, and then I cut this, and so that's what you're seeing here. This was a longer sheet. I've cut it in half, and this is just how I do it. You can experiment how you want to do it, but I have never had a problem with this. I just get that started, and this is how I do it. It's not recommended this way, but I pull tension, and the tape does stretch a little bit. So I'm pulling, and then when I get right about here, I relax, take the tension off of it, and just let it wrap under no tension. So what that does, if you had constant tension all the way around, the tape is going to try to, it's going to be under tension. It's going to want to try to pull itself and overcome the adhesive and come loose on you. So I put it on tight for one good wrap, probably maybe one half of the wrap, so it's tight holding on the vanes, and then I just relax so there's no more tension on it. I just wrap it around there. So at the last half or 3/4 of a wrap, there's no tension on that tape, so it will stay stuck. So again, just stick it on there, and it, like this is something probably a third of the way underneath there, half is fine. I will pull tension to kind of adjust it. I'll walk myself up the vane as needed. Now right there, I'm going to stop with the tension. There's about this much left. And I'll just let it just wrap around there with no tension on it, and then rub it in. And that's all there is to it. Sometimes after you get finished fletching, if they come together like this, they can sometimes stick underneath there if you don't have it overlaid exactly right. What you can do is shake some baby powder in here, tap it and blow it off, and it'll be all white, but that'll eventually come off. But that baby powder will get on the sticky part of the tape and make it so it's not sticky anymore, so your fletchings don't stick together inside your quiver.